It's the eve of the Jewish New Year. Prayers and festive meals are being prepared across the Jewish world, including in Israel, the world's only Jewish state. However, for Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, it's not all celebrations. Our correspondent Jody Cohen takes a look at the challenges facing the Prime Minister in the coming year.
The Prime Minister's trial on charges of corruption, fraud and breach of trust continues. And as of this week, the government's reasonableness law, rebalancing the power between the parliament and judiciary, is on trial in the Supreme Court. The protests that have rocked the country are continuing, with another planned for Sunday night when the New Year festivities end. But it's not just judicial problems facing the Prime Minister. Netanyahu's right-wing coalition includes ultra-nationalist parties whose policies have caused controversy. In the latest, head of the Otzma Yehudit party, Itamar Ben-Gvir, has suspended his support for the government amid a dispute over Palestinian prisoners who he believes are treated too leniently compared to Israeli prisoners. Meanwhile, Defence Minister Yoav Gallant has warned that intelligence shows militant groups planning terror attacks against Israeli civilians over the Jewish holidays. For the first time ever, armed guards are being deployed at all synagogues in Jerusalem. The National Security Council has claimed that Hamas is seeking to kidnap Israelis and of further attempts by Iran to snatch Israeli travellers. Israel is also concerned with Iran's nuclear program and Iran's activities abroad, particularly support for militants in Syria and Lebanon. Another, perhaps unexpected challenge that the Prime Minister will want to keep at bay is the return of COVID. With hospital cases rising, the government has recommended mask wearing for vulnerable groups in closed, busy spaces, such as synagogues over the high holidays. One high school in Jerusalem has even returned to Zoom classes after 38 students and 4 staff members tested positive. However, there is some cause for optimism. Israel's president has suggested that the coalition and opposition have been presented with a potential judicial reform compromise proposal, which he said could end the current crisis.
Allow me to expose for a moment what is happening behind closed doors. This proposal has wide support among the coalition and the opposition. Now is the time for resolution. Now is the time for a leader's decision.
Despite the challenges and mass protests across the country since the judicial reform plans were announced, there has been good news over the past week with the announcement of the India, Middle East, Europe corridor, which was made at the G20 in India. There's also cautious optimism about the potential for Saudi-Israel normalization going forwards, with some commentators suggesting that a pause in judicial reform could come as part of any agreements, offering a way out of the deadlock. Crucial to this will be the US and Netanyahu's forthcoming meeting with President Biden at the UN General Assembly next week. This is Jody Cohen for WION World is One.
WION World is One is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news updates on the move.